It's been like 3 weeks, bro.
Hey.
Trysta, Krick, live
There's
on your.
no one I'm more excited to see than you two.
And is she back on the East Coast?
Back on the East Coast, baby. We're in there like swimwear.
I thought we were gonna keep you. I thought.
I was trying.
You know what? I
trying.
don't think I'm going back.
Then I wouldn't be getting paid, guys. I would be not on with you.
Gotta get
I would
paid.
be on what they call short-term leave. And they gave me that little insight, and I said, well, I'll just come on back.
What's up, man?
Man, we got NFL popping. We got college popping.
Yeah.
Bro, do you know we've started 2 radio shows since you've been gone?
Had no idea. I haven't been keeping up on it, honestly. I'm lying. I've been so happy for y'all. Oh, my God. We got James Ham in the mix. We got you guys at the music station. I was thinking about today, actually, or yesterday while I was driving in, if I had a music show, could I do a sports show? And I was like, no. The only people that can do both are you guys.
Oh, well, I appreciate that. I think you could do it. But the 420 hit of the day one of these days may have to be the
Trysta Krick joint?
Yeah, what's the one where he got the chain of my name on his? That's the one that we're gonna play.
Oh yeah. Oh, you guys are gonna play my music? Oh, that would make me feel
we could absolutely drop the records over there on 102.5.
There we go.
Man. It's that 420 hit of the day, baby. CeeLo and KC here, 102.5 KSFM. #1 for hip hop and R&B. You know what it is.
He had that music too fast.
Oh, it's right here on the board. It's right here on the board. We was playing Drake the other day. I was like, hold up. That ain't Drake.
This banger.
That's TK's joint. Yeah, I need to relabel this.
On and on.
Yeah, on and on.
Hey.
Ken, I believe this is.
Beam,
you know what it is.
On that beam.
Yeah.
That was a classic.
We gotta.
It goes on and on. Can't understand how it took so long. Fox got the superpowers.
That's
Fourth
right.
quarter hitting middies, man, give him his flowers. Coming off of 16.
Yeah.
Owner tried to move the team.
Yeah.
Right.
Like your boy from Compton said.
What he said, though?
You know this beam ain't free. Holly Trey came and they said wait for it. Said the league should step and make it pay for it. Now fans canceling flights back home. Stay another day for it. Purple beam on na and you.
That's right.
Kayvon shot agua.
That's right.
Off nights got straps and you.
That's right.
Yeah.
My song, what's that?
We ain't done yet.
I need it all right now.
Right now.
Last year there was drama, baby, not right now.
Not now.
45 to 1 odds, what they talking about?
Tell 'em.
And the haters, man, they can put that beam in their mouth.
Hey, you knew there was no way I was cutting that song off before that verse. Come on, man. We missed you, man. Come on now.
But look, shout out to the Chatty House too, because I couldn't remember. It was he's a thug, but I love him.
Yeah.
I know.
Tremendous. Absolutely tremendous.
And just a lie, too. If it wasn't a lie then, it's definitely a lie now.
Oh, he grown up.
Yeah, you need a W-2 or 1099 or an LLC. But I tell you what, if your industry is cash only, I think I'm out.
Oh, well, all right.
Okay.
You know, they do Venmo now. So. Man, even the Heat Check Pod returned with a little. Well, now the little FIBA Heat Check was posted before the tragic events of this morning.
And then I posted another one today.
Okay, all right, back to back Heat Check podcast.
Back to back, little update. Got smacked around. I watched that game. Whoo! I tell you what, the Germany was a 10.5-point dog. Smacked them.
So your thoughts on this whole thing? I mean, we'll take it even further back to Noah Lyles and and how the world would fare. Obviously, it's a different situation than what he's talking about. But I think a lot of people are like, all right, the days where we can bring the C team over and think we can win are over. I don't think these guys are bad. I don't think they're bad players. I like all the players on here. I think they're really good ball players. But I think this is like the C team. And I don't think we could do that no more.
Well, and you talk about like centers, the declining value of centers in the NBA and the way that the modern game has gone makes it really difficult for you not to bring over the best centers in the world and then decide to play against guys that are bigger and stronger, or just have bigger teams, you run into problems. Like Jaren Jackson is an okay player, but he's not a 5, and he's not a 5 against even Daniel Tice, right? Like it's just, he was getting absolutely dominated. I think he only had 3 rebounds in that game. I think he and the other big man for the USA, just been kind of non-existent. Brandon Ingram gets moved out of the starting lineup. He doesn't even play a single second in the semifinal game. He just has been garbage. Like Anthony Edwards, when he was not on the floor this morning, and I'm sure you guys weren't able to watch it live unless you guys were maniacs waking up at like 4 in the morning. Maybe you are. That's Damien. Okay, sorry.
Hey, look, here's the difference between us. I watched a little bit of the Canada game. He watched the USA game.
Totally different situations. You were.
Yeah, I was up and watched the Canada game. He woke up and watched USA.
Yeah. So you watch the USA game and you realize, like, without Anthony Edwards, they're nothing. No chance, right? And what was his name? Obsk was a dog. Like, he's hitting 3 after 3 after 3. Franz Wagner was absolutely electric. Dennis Schroeder in international play. Obviously, the game's a lot different in the FIBA spectrum, but yeah, they need to send Anthony Davis has to play on Team USA. Has to. It's not going to be a cakewalk.
Yeah.
LeBron posted his USA picture though, so should be good for the Olympics. Yeah.
I doubt it.
Do you think they lose to Canada?
I wouldn't be surprised. They just lost to Germany, and I don't think Germany's as good as Canada is. So I would not be shocked if they didn't medal. I would not be shocked. But also, I would not be shocked if LeBron didn't go and play for Saudi Arabia for $100 million.
Stop that. Don't do that. Don't do
Nothing
that. He's not going to do that.
LeBron's having a good time over there. Just maxing and relaxing. Champagning and campaigning.
I love that USA lost and LeBron posted a picture of himself in a uniform. That is just...
That's so LeBron, isn't it?
It's absolutely on brand.
Just like you can count on Irvin Magic Johnson to be the Chat GPT of tweeting, where he's like very disappointed in Team USA losing 111-109 when they were supposed to be the favorites in that game. Like, you're like, nobody wants this. Is the exact thing that you can count on for LeBron, making everything about himself.
Speaking of Irvin, do you watch Winning Time?
I do. I'm like 1 or 2 episodes behind, but I love that show.
So good.
It's a great show.
It's so good. No matter how much of it is fiction or how much is reality.
Guys, I need to grab my charger. Hold on. I have to grab my charger. Grab my charger.
Bro, I swear this is D-Lo and KC. James walking off stage at Sky River and Trysta running to get her charger are two, like, if you ever have to share with someone, what's D-Lo and KC about? Share those 2 moments.
That's the moments right there.
James looks at me, I gotta go to the bathroom, and just gets up and leaves. Trysta, I gotta go get my charger. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. There she is.
We back.
So with Bron, though, I mean, I think he plays. Do you think like the heavy hitter? Really? Yeah, I think he plays. It's going to be another opportunity for especially with them losing
in like a decade.
But that's 4 gold medals, right?
Yeah, especially with them losing, it's an opportunity for him to put something on his resume.
Save America. He has the opportunity to save America.
Yeah.
Remember, he had an opportunity to go to Tokyo, but instead he was promoting Space Jam, one of the worst movies of all time, Space Jam 2.
Oh, Trysta.
Well, stop that.
It was not bad.
That was the right call, though.
That wasn't a bad movie? Are you thinking about this?
No. It was whatever.
It was fine.
I wouldn't say it was great, but it wasn't. It was whatever. It was Space Jam. They put their own little twist on it. It was cool.
He's one of the worst actors. And he couldn't get his own kids. He had like one of the least LeBron kids.
Trysta, stop being so critical of Bron today.
I thought he was
something to say. I think Damian is one. He's like, should I tell the truth or should I back LeBron?
I think LeBron was funny in Trainwreck. First of all, talking about him being a bad actor. I thought he was funny in Trainwreck. 2,
what was Trainwreck?
Amy Schumer was in it. Yeah. Amy Schumer was in it.
Missed that one.
It's the one good movie Amy Schumer ever made. But the one thing Space Jam got right was LeBron's house. Remember Jordan's house in Space Jam?
He was living down the street from me.
Right. He was living in a little modest, like 3-bedroom house, like in the suburbs of Chicago. Like, no, sir, I've seen your house. That is not it. LeBron has like a futuristic Los Angeles home. It's probably his real house that they filmed in.
Well, yeah, look, LeBron wasn't going to be Jamie Foxx and Ray. He was going to be LeBron, basketball actor. He was fine for what he was. He was okay.
He's like, son, I'm so sorry. I won't just let you be anything you want to be. You're like, no one was like, cut.
Is Steve Kerr a bad coach? I feel like everyone was waiting for Steve Kerr to fail with it just so they could make like a Steph Curry joke. It's a lot different when you don't have the greatest shooter out there, huh, Steve?
So
I don't think he's a bad coach. No. I just think we might have in the past overestimated his prowess. So he's not bad, but maybe he's not the all-time. I think some people at one point were ready to crown him as like one of the best coaches of all time. And I don't know if we're there at this moment to say that.
I agree. Like I said, I definitely don't think he's bad. He's a good coach for sure. Really good coach. But there is the element, and there's always been that element, whether right or wrong, of he came in and just won with what Mark Jackson had already started. I think it's a lot more, there's more dynamics to it than that, but that's always been out there. And the thing that's starting to come around with him that I'm starting to question and I don't like is I see this thing with Brandon Ingram. And it reminds me of Wiseman, Poole, and Kuminga. And it's like, if you don't do what Steve Kerr thinks should be done, he's just not going to play you. And like, that's not the move. And especially in situations where the Warriors, I mean, they got a championship, so maybe you could say they didn't need it. But Team USA, they needed Brandon Ingram. Like, you guys weren't like, oh, we could just put anybody out there and we're going to win. Like, you needed a Brandon Ingram to get past Germany or against Lithuania, or maybe if you would have played Canada in the championship game. And he was just like, yeah, no. Once Brandon Ingram was like, I don't know my role, Kerr was like, well, you'll never play again. I know your role. It's to be on the bench. And it's like, bro, how about getting the best out of these guys?
Yeah, I think the thing that we can say in all seriousness is that maybe development isn't his strong suit. And sometimes people are really good executors and great thinkers and amazing at like intellectual parts of life. And then other people are better at developing talent as like managers and leaders and getting other people to succeed and other people to gel. And you may say, well, Steve Kerr's done an amazing job of getting the Warriors to gel. Look what they were able to do. They, add another ego and another star in Kevin Durant, and they were, dominant. And, he got the best out of Draymond, and he, got the best out of Steph and Clay together. But like, those guys were kind of already baked. Those are like baked goods by the time he got them. And a spot like Team USA is, you don't have that much time together. You don't have as much camaraderie and chemistry as a team like the Warriors did, even when he got there. So you add guys in like Wiseman, you add guys in like Poole, you add guys in like Kuminga and Moody, and he's not figuring out the way to put the pieces together that all work. Like that recipe has always felt a little off. Even when they won the title, it felt a little off. And that's going to even be more, I think, exacerbated in Team USA play, because that's not even a real team. It's a bunch of high-profile stars that have to sacrifice a lot to come together and play a totally different game than you would in the modern NBA.
Him and KD actually had a little friction too.
Oh, absolutely. Because he had the whole, high motion offense, and KD's like, yeah, that's all cool and all, but like when it's the playoffs, just give me the ball and let me cook. I want to play. I want to play ISO. Like that's what I like more and more and more and more throughout the time he was in Golden State. He was like, yeah, I kind of grew tired of the whole like beautiful game thing.
Was this a breakout stretch for Anthony Edwards? Like, is this the moment we look back on and say, yeah, that's like, we saw it then. Like he's the dude now. Like he's a upper echelon NBA player.
I think it came a little last year, but Minnesota was very disappointing. And so if you weren't really watching a lot of Timberwolves games, and why would you have? It was not the best season. You probably missed it. It was very easy to miss. A nice like side road is I went to a Mets game last year, and a guy that was sitting next to me was a huge NBA fan, and he didn't even know who Ant Edwards was. So, because it's so regional, right? If you're not watching NBA League Pass and a certain team's not nationally televised a ton, and you've got a full-time gig where maybe, who knows, it's easy to miss.
Well, that's why Warriors fans aren't very sharp.
Well, there's that. Yeah. I was about to say he should be embarrassed, though.
Yeah, he should be embarrassed.
You say you're an NBA fan and you don't know Anthony, you should be embarrassed.
So now that he's on the international stage, and I think people tune in a little differently for Olympics, for FIBA, it's the only basketball going on is that team, right? So when you go to that tab, you see that he did something incredible. I mean, when he played in the Middle East against Germany, I think they were down like 16, 18 points, and he just put the team on his back and just bucket after bucket. Everything that he did today, you were just like, this guy's, at one point, I think in the first half, he was 7 for 8 from the field. Just cooking. And I didn't know, actually, you talk about Steve Kerr. I'm not sure why he did a Steph Curry thing to Ant. He took him out at the middle to end of the third quarter. I don't know if you noticed this, Damian. And then that's when the lead broke all the way open. And then Ant had to come back into the fourth quarter like Steph does and try to figure out a way to save the day. And it was just too late, too little.
Same thing happened against Lithuania.
Yeah,
it was like 4 minutes or so before they finally got the lead to single digits. And then when they got it to single digits, it looked like Anthony Edwards was going to win them the game.
Yeah.
Like he was in control of every play that USA had. It felt like he was going to do it.
If he doesn't make that mistake and turn the ball over, passing the ball to Jaren, they could have, I mean, that's maybe the game.
Yeah, I mean, there's that. And then Tyrese Halliburton sliding in to defend the three-pointer and falling. And, I mean, wide open, and that kind of opens things up a little bit more. Those two plays and all that work that the USA did to get back in there, was those two plays that just can't come back from that.
They kept panning to Steve Kerr too. I don't know if you guys noticed. He just looked weathered from Manila. And
he's got that look on his face when
he looks like someone like stabbing him under his shirt.
He has the same look on his face every time Steph Curry isn't on the floor. It's just his non-Steph Curry face. That's what it is.
Oh, no.
Where's that guy at?
Also, did you guys see this? I talked about it on the podcast for 2 seconds, but like Mark Few had this moment with Ant Edwards after he did something amazing, and he like kind of like grabbed his chest and then kind of like slowly. I'm like, was that like a soft nipple embrace?
Oh my!
Wow!
Just look for you.
He
was like, yeah, and just kind of like slowly.
I did not.
I missed that.
That's a Trysta. I missed that one.
They get hyped up in Gonzaga.
Yeah, they do.
Well, calm down then. If that's the case, I'm gonna need you to calm down.
If that's how you motivate, maybe that's why Gonzaga's been so disappointing.
Don't motivate me, bro. Like I'm good.
I'm highly motivated all by myself.
Who you hyped for this NFL season?
Ooh, who am I hyped for?
Yep.
That's a good question. I think I'm hyped to see Jacksonville with Calvin Ridley.
Okay.
That offense is going to be fun. I like those little guys that nobody's really thinking about, right? That have made little tweaks to their team, and now maybe the offense can be different. So I like that. I like the Dolphins, obviously. They're a fun team. You have Waddle, Tyreek Hill, Raheem Mostert. Maybe they make a trade for Jonathan Taylor. That's going to be really fun. I mean, the Chiefs are going to be fine, but we know they have really no weapons besides Travis Kelce. That was apparent even before last night's game began. And now we know Kadarius Toney is probably never going to be heard from or seen from again after I think he dropped five catchable balls.
Wow.
Not super hyped on the Bills.
Wow.
Still waiting. Yeah, I think that's going to be a wait and see thing for me.
Well, you're not the only one.
Really?
Your boy.
Oh, you too?
I ain't got to make it in the playoffs.
Really?
Yeah.
Trysta was like, "Oh, I didn't say that."
I mean, I just don't think they're I don't think they're a team that is gonna go to the Super Bowl. That's kind of where I'm at on the Bills. I think the Eagles are still gonna be really fun, really high flying. I think it's wait and see on the Cowboys. You look at the way that Mike McCarthy says he wants to run the offense, and then what they've done doesn't really support that philosophy, given the fact that it's just Tony Pollard out there and a guy who's my height to back him up. So how are they going to run the ball 25, 30 times? I think Pittsburgh will be fun, like low key, pretty fun. I think the league's very wide open this year. Very, very wide open. Chargers with Kellen Moore, I think are going to be fun. Quentin Johnston from TCU, is he a number one receiver if Keenan Allen and Mike Williams get hurt yet again? Seattle, I think, is fun. I like offense. I like defense, but I like offense more.
Did you mention your Jets, Jets?
Oh, I think it's a wait and see. Offensive line was a mess last year. Mm-hmm. We know what Aaron Rodgers looks like when his offensive line, and we saw it on Hard Knocks too. When he doesn't have offensive line holding up, he doesn't look great, and he's not as mobile as he used to be, not as athletic as he used to be to evade pressure and make plays on the run. So if Mekhi Becton isn't him, as the guy that they thought that they had drafted, as a first round pick a few years ago, and he's just injury prone or fat, and they have a guy that's 40 years old and Dwayne Brown that's out there, it could get ugly fast. But I love Garrett Wilson. I think he's gonna break out this year. If he didn't already break out last year, I think Dalvin Cook with Breece Hall is a nice 1-2 punch. Yeah, I think I'm very excited about the NFL. Very excited.
I got them being slightly, not a whole lot, but slightly better than the Bills. I got Dolphins, Bills, Ravens, Bengals. Still, well, it gets murky towards the bottom of the wild card. Obviously, the Jags. I'm not sure the Chiefs are going to win the division. Part of me wants to say Denver, but I'm like, that's not going to happen.
This dude loves his Denver Broncos, bro. It's been a weird twist.
I think it might be the Chargers. Might be the Chargers.
Wait, I'm sorry. Did you have the Chargers?
Yeah, because it was part of the exercise. I had to get 4 teams out.
You can't the next day say they're going to make the playoffs the day after you said they're not. You just said they were going to win the division, and yesterday you said you're going to miss the playoffs.
What I'm telling you is I think they might win the division. I'm not picking.
You have to make.
I'm not picking the. What bit did we do where I have to pick the division winners? We didn't. I said I think they might win the division.
KC ruining the integrity of 4 and 4 out.
Oh no, because I said at the beginning of 4 and 4 out. I said I only believe half of this stuff.
You said you podding. That's what it
is. I told you. I said I only believe half of this stuff.
Trysta, this dude be podding, man. He just be saying.
That's what he does. That's what he does. He's got his hat all up high. It's probably not even touching the top of his head.
I only believe that 4 and 4 out is tough this year, man. It's tough.
It is.
It's really tough. But
in though, right? Jets were 1 in.
I put the Jets in. Jets
and then
the
you
Dolphins.
put the Bills out.
Bills out.
Who else?
I got the Bengals
in. Chargers out.
Put the Chargers out just for the sake of argument. I got the Broncos in. Chiefs in.
That's never happening.
And Jags.
The Broncos are going to be a disaster.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, you had the Bucks, Bills, Giants, and Chargers out. Mm-hmm. You had the Jets, Broncos, Lions, and Saints in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think the Broncos are going to be all right.
Lions. I didn't even mention how excited I am for the Lions. That if that defense plays like they played against Kansas City, which they had the 4th worst rushing defense in the league last year. For the first 10 weeks of the season, they were one of the worst defenses in all of the league. They add multiple pieces. Aiden Hutchinson obviously looked really good, but the run defense looked really good last night. Like Pacheco couldn't do a damn thing. CEH couldn't do anything. I don't know how many yards they had total rushing, but it was less than 100, I think. I'm pretty sure it was less than 100 because I had Pacheco to have over 45 rushing yards, and I don't think he even came close to that. So if Detroit can do that, and then they're going to end up getting Jamison Williams back, in 6 weeks, they have another guy to throw the ball to that's not Marvin Jones, the ghost of Marvin Jones. I mean, you to think about what Jared Goff did when all he had. Amon-Ra St. Brown is really good, but outside of him, he was throwing to Josh Palmer. Josh Reynolds. He's throwing to Marvin Jones and a rookie in Sam Laporta. And a little to Jahmyr Gibbs, the rookie as well. Like, once Jamison Williams comes in,
real quick, like 20 seconds. What do you think about my thoughts about the Chiefs? I don't know if they're going to win the division. I got too much respect to say they won't make the playoffs, but I think there's going to be a step back for the Chiefs this year.
I think we keep saying it every year. I think there's good reason for us to say it every year. And until they miss winning the division, I'm not going to predict that. I can see why you would say that. And I can see why you would say that the year before as well. And why you would maybe think that the Chargers or last year, even the Raiders with Devontae Adams and Derek Carr, maybe you thought that they would win the division. But I don't see the Chargers changing their stripes, even with Kellen Moore. I don't think it's Denver, and I certainly don't think it's the Raiders. So I think the Chiefs could take a step back this year and still win the division. Was that 20 seconds?
Missed you.
I miss you. I wanted, honestly, I was like, man, if I could have come on the show with COVID, I would have. But I was like, it's just not, even from the deathbed, it still was a bad look.
Yeah, I didn't say why she wasn't here. Like, she was pretty beat up. Like, she was not in a good place for like 2 straight weeks. So we missed you. We're happy you're back. Most importantly, we're happy that you're feeling better.
Thank you.
That's the homie TK Trysta Krick. We'll come